here.
It's Thursday night, which means it is time for Shout Out with JT Hollis, your one-stop shop for all your rants and raves. He goes out from the shadows of the Sully Show and onto his own podium. That's right, it's Shout Out with JT Hollis. Make sure you join the chat, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on twitch.tv/Accidental Punch. Here's JT.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Why am I trying to do an evil voice? Good evening, all. It is Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know what that means. That means the nutcase from the Sully Show is on the camera by himself for an hour. Can you handle it? That's the question. It's the Shout Out with JT show right here on Accidental Punch TV, as we like to call it. And I, of course, am JT. Gonna have some fun tonight. Got a very, very good friend of mine known as DJ Tez. He's gonna come on. We're gonna talk to him a little bit. And I got a question for him because, you know, I'm gonna dig into his mentality a little bit tonight. And I can see him over here on Skype, and he's sitting there with his look on his face like, oh hell. What did I get myself into? Yes, my friend, it's your turn to be under the gun because you've done it to me a couple of times on interviews, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just sit there and shake your head. Yes.
Oh, did you want me to?
What is the purpose of the Shout Out with JT show? Well, plain and simple. On Tuesday nights with the Sully Show, we kind of try to keep it PG-13. Here, on the Shout Out with JT show, we really don't have those limitations. We still try to keep it kind of clean, you know, no porno, no nakedity and that kind of thing. But, you know, we can cuss a little bit if we want to. If you want to drop the F-bomb, drop the F-bomb. I don't care. But we're here for everybody to have a chance to vent. And now that I can actually bring people on camera, on Skype, we can vent even more. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. And Kay just looked at me like, what in the hell is he doing? I'm just being me. But yes, folks, I do want to introduce you to a very, very good friend of mine. I have known him for almost as long as I have known my good friend Sully. Tez is saying that it's been 7 years now. I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably about right. 7 to 8 years. Everybody, I want to introduce you to my good friend DJ Tez.
Hey, Tom. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Having a good time. And, you know, it's fun to be able to reverse the playing field. You know,
yes.
We've done the, you know, you're the host, I'm the artist interview kind of thing before. And now I get to flip the script here. And I get to interview the DJ. So,
well, now I know what I put everybody else through, I guess.
Yes, you can get a little bit of a feel of what it is on the other side of the mic, as they like to say. So, I got a couple of things I want to talk with you tonight. We're mainly going to concentrate on the music thing and, you know, how long you've been doing it. Because you've been doing music in one form or another for, what, damn near 100 years now?
10. September
well, no,
9th.
I don't mean just in radio.
Yeah, I guess. I worked a soundboard for a local band in Miami when I was in high school. So that was, I guess, my first taste of music. I never made it on stage because I'm a chord strummer.
Well, and then you also did the car audio thing, which, I mean, to me, that's music. You know, like it's not playing it or it's not, you know, singing or anything like that, but it's still, I mean, come on, man. You got to make the car sound good.
You know, I actually forgot about that part of my life because I've been so consumed with broadcasting. Yeah, 1983 is when I first got into car audio as far as a profession. And lots and lots of systems, lots and lots of booming. And that's why I'm probably deaf. You know, life begins at 150 decibels. That's what I always said. I'm 62 and I'll still pound with the best of them. I don't own any equipment anymore, but hey.
Nothing wrong with borrowed equipment. I want to say hi real quick to a couple people in the chat room. The boss man himself, Mr. Sully, he's in there, as well as our good friend Big Tank and Lady Death, a.k.a. Nakaya, or Kaya, as I call her. Now, we're going to dig into the music thing a little bit more here in just a couple of minutes. But let me ask you a question. What was the name of the last hurricane that you guys had there in Florida? I don't recall the name.
Irma.
Okay.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Now, I've been wanting, I've sat here for all these years, and I always see on TV, the hurricane comes and all these people run away, which is what I would do. And then you've got the crazy people
the poor people.
well, that too. But I mean, they stay, and I've always wanted to, get a hold of one of them and say, "What in the hell were you thinking?" So, Tess, what in the hell were you thinking when you did? And if I remember correct, it was a Category 5 hurricane when it hit, and it went right past your front door.
Pretty much.
I do recall you had a picture up from when the eye of the hurricane went over you.
Yeah,
and
I went outside.
It was just pure silence and nice, pretty day. So what was as they were talking about the hurricane and saying where it was coming and showing the track and everything? What was your thought then?
Well, originally, the old 20% chance of forming.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a day and a half before it hit.
Right.
And
yeah, she's a quick little bitch, that's for sure.
Yeah, very quick. And myself, I really had nowhere to go. And, so we just boarded up and did what we did the best. We're 30 miles inland from the Gulf. And if you go south to north, we're a good ways in. So in my theory, it's like, it'll die out. It'll be over land long enough and die down. But it was damn near a 4, I think, when it came down our street. I say down our street because we got lucky. The way our street runs, that's the way the winds were going. Had they been straight onto the face of the house, I don't know that we would have been that lucky. But
yeah, I was going to say, because I mean, you sat there through this whole thing, and you damn near could have live streamed the thing.
Yeah, had the internet not gone out, we lost power, so the router went out, and but honestly, it was up until the time. It lasted for quite a while. It wasn't bad. I did take video outside. I opened the door because that's what I do, thrill seeker.
Right.
And I think the mindset of people, especially those who have never experienced one, there's a certain amount of thrill in it, I guess. The curiosity, and thank God it didn't hurt anybody, at least not here.
Right.
But it's interesting. I mean, everything they say about it is true. The sound of the winds and the shaking of the glass. And
now you've got that big patio. You've got like an enclosed swimming pool on the back of your house, right?
Yeah, it's screened in. Well, it was.
Is it screened in, or was it glass?
It's not anymore. The landlord's really slack, man. It's been like 2 years this September. We're still waiting on the screens to be fixed. But no, it was screened in. My wife at the time had said she read somewhere to open up the screen doors to try to let a blow through go through. So we did that, and then we took the table that was outside, pushed it up against the sliding door with some plywood, and that was the main one. We didn't have hurricane shutters or anything. It was it's a house in the 70s, so old windows and things. But like I said, we got lucky. Tree parts fell into our pool, big pieces. The landscape was not the same. I will say that. It was eerie for 3 days. We got lucky though. 3 days without power, and you heard a distant generator here and there, and just very, very, very quiet, eerily quiet. And there's a canal in the back of our house. The water didn't get up too high. It got up about halfway up our driveway because, like I say, our elevation, I think we're at our elevation might be like, I don't know, 30 feet maybe.
So you're kind of raised up off off of street level?
Off of sea level.
Not
street.
Okay.
Yeah, not street level. No, the sewers. We actually have a curbed neighborhood here, which is not the norm. So we have curbs, we have sewers, and yeah, they got full, overflowed, and that's when the water started creeping up. But it didn't get to our house, so we were lucky. But
now, was there a time either when the front part of it was coming through, or when the back end was coming through, that you sat there and said to yourself, I really wish we had gone? I mean, was there a point where you really feared for your and your family's well-being?
If I'm honest, no, not really. Either this house is built rock solid. I believe it's a block house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure, but we only had a couple of wake up, Larry. A couple of roof shingles rip off, maybe like 3. That was it.
I mean, you posted pictures after the storm, and I was amazed at how little damage that you had. And I've got a friend of mine, and I want to get him on here too, so I can dig into his brain. But a guy that I served with, that I went to war with, who is also down in Florida. I want to say he's by Disney. I mean, he's like 10 minutes away from Disney.
Right.
And he got hit too. And
from Irma?
I think it was the same one.
Okay.
He got hit, but he didn't have a lot of damage. He had like a fence that got knocked down and stuff like that. But I've always wanted to pick people's brains that decide, I mean, is it just curiosity? Is it stupidity? Is it I'm broken, I have no gas? I mean, what, and I'm sure I could find all of them that would fit in all 3 of those categories. But I was just
to be honest with you,
stayed.
if I had money, if I was financially better off, I would have definitely left. But again, it actually came quite fast. I mean, because the stupid newscasters, and I have my own theories about weather steering and shit like that. It's just me. It's just my way of thinking. But it just came out of nowhere. I mean, we go from it's got a 20% chance of forming into a hurricane to, okay, it's a Cat 1. Next thing I know, it's almost, on the coast. And
I mean, it jumped up to a Cat 4 in like an hour's time.
Yeah, like crazy. Exactly. Just like it did over in the Panhandle. Mm-hmm. Same exact type of storm.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, crazy. Bam.
It was pretty crazy, and I'm watching that, and I'm watching your updates and stuff like that. Because you threw up a couple of videos, there towards the beginning of it before you lost power and everything. It's like, man, I kind of want to be there, but I'm kind of saying, what a dumbass.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, it's no different than when I lived in Indiana in Warsaw. It's no different.
Well, yeah, you're right there in Tornado Alley.
And the blizzards and I mean, one time we had a massive, it had to have been a tornado because we had these big trees by our house, and one big ass limb. The limb was like 10 inches in diameter that fell. It took the chimney off the roof, sliced it off the roof, fell down alongside of my house, and all I saw out my window was leaves, just like the branch. It was like right there.
We have blackout conditions in the bedroom.
Exactly.
But for some reason, the blackout is green.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, with tornadoes, you don't have a chance to go anywhere. You pretty much have a chance to stick your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye, basically.
But we have basements.
Yeah. Is it Florida that they don't have basements, or is it Texas, or both?
Not here, anyway. No, you dig for a basement, you're in the water.
Right.
Pretty much.
And the crazy thing was that Irma went a long way up the coast. And not up the coast. I mean, she basically went right up the middle of the state.
It was crazy.
And I was watching the thing going, damn. So enough about the hurricane. Like I said at the beginning, I've known you for a good 7, probably, close to 7 to 8 years, somewhere in that time frame. We actually met when both of us were DJing.
Yeah.
You were DJing, I don't remember what station it was for, but I was DJing with Whoa Radio at the time.
Right.
And I was kind of in a tough situation because I was a DJ and I was an artist who was trying to get my music out at the same time. So, I tried to play both sides of the fence there.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to do. But
no.
I caught one of your shows and I messaged you and said, "Hey, could I send you some, a couple of songs?" And you're like, "Yeah." And I shot him over there, and you just like, were instantly like, "Dude, okay, send me everything you have." Mm-hmm. And that made me feel really good. But what was it that made you go, made you react that way? Especially with the fact that I know it's not the stuff that I sent you at that time was not anywhere near studio quality.
No, it was. I don't know. The transition into independent music was very hard for me. When I was on One Radio out of the UK, I mean, I was based here, but I was on One Radio. One guy there started doing indie music, and I was like, and then when I got my own station, FMR, which I regret ever losing. That's a whole nother show story. But I realized that it's like it hit me. It's like, okay, you're a DJ, a radio presenter, whatever. Mm-hmm. You got a personality, which a lot of them are just song announcers, and I don't like song announcers. These people need to hear music that would never otherwise be heard. And then I started getting to know some of the artists. And this is before I met you, but the artists don't do this for money. I mean, it'd be nice, but you guys are a different breed of people. Independent artists are passion driven. Mm-hmm. They and you can, if you've got half a brain or whatever, you can feel what the artists put into it. Yeah. And I know you were, I believe I remember somewhere back then you were a struggling artist, and it was like my mission to bring the songs out to the public. And because if you don't hear a song, you're never going to break that mainstream nightmare that you're in, supporting Hollywood and supporting, people that are bought and paid for. And they don't, there's nothing, and don't get me wrong, there's still some good mainstream music, but for the most part, they're not driven by what you guys are driven by. And there's more of us now than there are them.
A lot more of us than there are of them. Real quick, I do want to say that Nikaya did say that there are no basements down in Texas either.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she by the Gulf?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I can believe that. Like when up in the El Paso area, you're up in the mountainous area. They have basements there. It's not normal. Right. I mean, every house has one, but they do have them. But yeah, I like basements actually.
And I do have to say that I want to say thank you because struggling artist was one of the nicer terms that I've ever been called.
Well, I can't tell you. In fact, just today, it happened to me again. You get a hold of an artist that's been sitting on a song for a decade, and he throws it your way. You make a connection with the music. Then you make a connection with the artist.
Right.
And then you compliment them and you tell them your real feelings. It motivates them again. This guy just sent me a track today that when he sent me his last track, which was done on tape. Okay. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I took it into audition. I tried to master it for lack of term, but 3 years later, here he is, or 2 years later, here he is, and it's not the first one. There was another artist, Natalie Jean, and if I may share this, I saw her 2 years ago. She was ready to throw in a towel. Somebody called her the N-word. First of all, she's drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
Second of all, she's damn freaking good. But I'm an empath, which is a curse, okay? I can somehow feel people's emotions through written words, a picture, or communicating. And all I could do was reach out to her, and my heart bled for her that I couldn't believe there's still people out there playing the race card. Right. And secondly, they're so narrow-mindedly blind that they couldn't even see the talent this woman had. Now, she's taken awards all over the place, independent music awards, and she didn't give up. I told her flat out, I said, don't give up. Don't let one person, and I'm not saying I am the reason she didn't quit, but me and whoever else were reasons. Right. And it's that way for all of you. The artists that I play now, I used to like anybody that sent me music, I'd play it. Right. I wasn't doing anybody any good. So now I just keep the ones that actually have a relationship with me, and I work my butt off to get their music heard on other my main station, AM FM station in Virginia. Mm-hmm. I use that platform wherever I can because anybody can play oldies or current music or whatever, right. And you can go to any station and pick that up. Mm-hmm. What you can't get on a regular basis is independent artists, especially those that just knock your socks off, man.
Right.
I mean,
there's especially not on the AM FM dial.
Exactly.
You know,
when Last Call came out, that was like my payoff for supporting you for a year or however long it was before that came out, because right. That was like the first, to me, studio produced track. Mm-hmm. I don't remember where you recorded it at, but it was definitely kick-ass, and it right. Still is.
That one there I actually recorded. That was back when I still had my Night Train band. And it was actually my lead guitarist. He wrote, recorded, and played everything on that song. And he says, I got the perfect song. I want you to come in and do lead vocals on this. It was Last Call at Nashville Days. And he's been working in sound forever.
Yeah.
And we recorded everything right there in the room that we practiced as a band, that we practiced it and everything. And that was my real first experience with going into any kind of studio, and recording and stuff. And it's different. I mean, when you first get in there, believe it or not, when you first get into a studio to record, it can be rather intimidating.
And yes, I've been in one.
It can scare the shit out of you.
I was up in Indiana, and I went. There was this guy. What the hell was he? His name was Jason Ryan. He was a rapper, a white rapper, and I actually paid for his studio time. This is after David died, and I believed in him. Mm-hmm. He had talent, so I paid the $150 for 3 hours. It was not that expensive. But yeah, you walk in there and you got the Mackie board, which is like from here to it's right. Like long, bands on it, knobs on it. First of all, it turns me on. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I love stuff like that.
I'm just thinking about it gives me a middle woody.
Exactly, man. That mixing boards and analog synthesizers, those are my two passions as far as what really gets to my heart. But no, yeah, it can be. But and that's I think it's because I always wanted to be a sound engineer. That I'm 62 now. Don't know if it'll ever happen. It doesn't matter. I found my niche. But yeah, it can be intimidating. Before that, where did you record your stuff? It was all done
before
by
that,
you, right?
And after that, I actually recorded in my basement.
And it's not soundproof.
We tried hanging a couple of blankets on the walls to kind of cut down on the bounce back and all that stuff.
Right.
And but we couldn't afford to go in a studio because, believe me, studio time for $150 for 3 hours is non-existent in this day and age. It's like $150 an hour.
I believe you. I believe, and that's the other reason why I had the passion, because you work so hard and you can't get your break, and by break, I don't mean getting signed to a record label. Screw that. Record labels, they just own you and tell you what to do. You don't ever have a say.
I'd rather stay independent or even get signed to an independent label than get signed by Atlantic or, any of the big name labels. Exactly. Because you do that, you go into a can.
Yes, you do. And you
go into a can.
So that's what prompted me as well. How, first of all, you're never going to get a break until you have a bunch of people that are playing your music. And it's a time-consuming process. It really is. But as one artist starts carrying it, or one DJ starts carrying it, then in his group of people, in the real world, hopefully they go to buy a digital download, or another DJ will pick you up, and before you know it, you got maybe 10, 20, 30 DJs across the country playing you. And then maybe one day somebody hears you on an AM station. I'm in Blackstone, Virginia on FM and AM, and that's a coal mining town, man. They're country.
Oh yeah.
And so, areas like that is a perfect place to air your music, because I just wish there were more people that understood the plight of an independent artist. Yeah. Because if you have any compassion at all and you love music, you should really want to help. I mean, that's just that, and that was the transition I made. It was hard, but now I get my music on. I'll watch YouTube and it'll just take me on a journey. I get music from Music Submit. People are submitting music to me daily, like 5 artists a day. And I had to stop because I can't do 100 people good. I can do 25 to 30 really good. And what good is it if I play your song one time and don't play it again for another month? It kind of just gets lost. So it's kind of like that. And so recently I just made up my mind. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to feature like 5 to 6 artists every Wednesday for 2 hours, repeat it on AM and FM on Thursday for 3 hours, and then move on to the next set of artists and just keep doing that. Like if you were to send me a song today, I'd play it tomorrow. You're just one of those artists. It doesn't matter to me if it's studio perfect. What matters is does it do anything to me? Does it catch my ear? Is it can you tap to it? Does it emotionally do anything? Right. But there are very few artists that I have, but I do have a bunch. I mean, I've got probably a good 15 artists that they could send me a track and I just put it on air without even listening to it, because that's the other thing I do.
It's a trust that you have. You know that certain artists aren't going to send you crappy music.
Right. And plus they interact with me. So the fact that they, help me on social media, they share the shows, they share things, and they communicate. It makes me work harder for them.
Right.
And, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. You are listening to the Shout Out with JT show here on X-Stone Punch TV. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I got DJ Tez, a very, very good friend of mine, known him for many, many years, also known as Larry. I don't think I cannot remember a time where I have actually called you Larry. I mean, you call me by my real name all the time, but I don't think I have ever really sat there and called you Larry. I actually, from day one, I have known you as Tez. You're Tez.
I actually used to call you JT a lot.
Yes.
And now, like within the last year, maybe I start calling you Tom.
Well, but I've gotten out of the music a lot ever since just before my back surgery, because things were getting so bad I just couldn't do anything anymore. And I got away from the music for a long time. But I am, just to let you know, because I know you don't know this, I am in the search for songs for a EP right now. I do want to come out with a new EP sometime here in the near future.
But, not to make this about you, but let's make this about you. No, seriously, man, you got the voice. You just don't know it. You really have got a frickin' resonating voice, country voice.
Well,
exactly. What I'm hearing right now does not do you justice. I mean, it's there, but when on last call, and I mean, when you get the proper miking, you just got the voice. And like I said, all you need is you just need the break. You just need to get with the right everything to make it happen. I'm not saying to make you a millionaire. I'm just saying
and that's the thing, and I think that's the thing for a lot of indie artists. Not all. I know for a fact that there's people out there that are indie artists that are in it for nothing but the money. And you can tell it in their music.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's not about the money. It's not about getting out on stage. I mean, I love doing it. I love getting on stage and performing live in front of people.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's no experience like it. I mean, I'm sorry, you could go to outer space and it would still not be the same.
No, but, not at all.
For me, it's not about the music. It's about the people, and it's about taking them on a ride, taking them on an experience, helping them. And we've talked about this, helping them to escape the misery of their day, whether, if they had a crappy day or they had a good day. You can always find a song that can help them.
I agree with you.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's been all about for me, and
music is a medicine. If people would just realize that they have got a medicine cabinet full of things, no matter what mood you're in, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what's going on, there is a song for you to get you out of it. You just got to find it. When I heard that Last Call the first time, first of all, my eyes popped out because it was a mix that I had not heard from you before.
Right.
It was tight, and honestly, it made me want to go out to the bar. It that's the feeling it had to me. It pumped me up. It was catchy. It was happy. It was a good time, and I felt like I was in there.
Right.
You know, I literally felt like I was at Nashville Dave's. And when, if people would just like put their headphones on once in a while,
right,
and really get into what the artist is, yeah, because
listen
you can't
to the music, listen to the words, listen to the story.
Yes, exactly.
Now
you can't do. Go ahead.
When you, I know you as a DJ, and I know you as not a DJ. You know, we've had many conversations about many kind of things. I do got to say that Sully in the chat room said that, quote, I've been telling him that for years. He doesn't even listen to me. And that was about the quality of the recordings and all that kind of stuff. And Sully, kiss my ass. I do too. I just haven't been able to follow up on it yet. But you... And I was accused of being the same way. When you get behind the mic as a DJ, you turn into a totally different person than you are in real life. And I've noticed that with you too, because I've talked to you via Skype before you've gone on air. And then I sat there listening to you on air, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? It sounds like Tez. It looks like Tez, but that's not Tez. Maybe you can get people to understand why that is. I mean, how we can just do that changeover without even realizing that we're doing it.
The way I look at it is this: it allows me to be really who I am. So many times in life, you have outside forces that kind of control you, whether you believe it or not. Mm-hmm. Kids, wife, spouse,
life,
job. Sucks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does. So when I get behind the mic, which is a term I absolutely love. I love two terms: behind the mic and living my life inside my headphones. Those are two terms that I adore now, and it just allows me to, I can be whoever I want. And if I can make somebody laugh, and if I can make an artist get back excited about their music again, or just get the listener excited, you know, anybody can say, yeah, here's Tom Hollis and Last Call at Nashville Dave's, and that, or is it like brand new recording from Tom Hollis, and I'll tell you what, it's better than anything he's ever put out yet. And you know, it all depends on how you deliver the song, on how people are going to perceive the song. So behind the mic just allows me to actually just let my hair down, which little I have, and be who I want to be.
Isn't Behind the Mic the name of one of your shows?
No. It
should be. I'm telling you, that is the perfect show name for you. But I have one other saying for you that is also perfect. And this applies to me just as much as it does to you, and it is not meant as an insult in any way. But we both have a face made for radio.
Yes. I have this. I can't share it with you, but I have. If you check out my Facebook page, you'll find the picture. It's. I believe it says radio, helping people with ugly faces become famous in something.
Helping ugly people get famous.
That's it. Yeah. Because have you ever noticed that nobody sounds like their voice when they're doing a DJ?
I used to. When people get in there, it's like, okay, we get. Yeah. And Sully has the exact voice that you're talking about. They get right up there on the mic, and they're like, "Good evening, and welcome to the Let's Get Funky Hour." And they get this low, trying to be kind of sexy voice crap, and it's like, no,
Well,
before we came on, we were talking. And, you know, I went into one of my spiels from the radio station that I used to work for. Hey, that was Clint Black with Desperado right here on WEXT 104.7, you know. And why do people use funky, fake ass voices when they get on the radio?
Okay. I watch weather ladies and weathermen where they get that Oh, they like choke on their word. No, the only thing I do, you can hear me now. Okay, this is me behind the mic like this, and if I get really close and I lower my voice like this, it all depends on the mood and what you're trying to do. If it's a sensual song and you want to play around with people, you drop your voice. If you got good compression, it can really enhance the feel that what they're listening to on the other side. But yeah, the other part were like, hey, this is, no, I'm not that kind of DJ. I just can't. Now I have done it.
Yes,
like
you
mocking.
have. Yes, you have.
But because I'm turning red. But usually it's excitement, and I got to give Debbie credit for that, because she told me that my voice gets really high, and it does. And I always listen to every broadcast I do, because it has to pass my test. And if I'm not happy with it, then I need to learn what I did wrong and change it. But
the only way you can improve yourself is by listening to yourself.
Exactly. But no, you had a really good radio voice as well. It's guys who DJ need that deep voice. Women who DJ need that airy, sultry voice. And you put that with
the one where they sound like they're heavy breathing without doing it on purpose.
You ever heard of Delilah?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like her, man. Okay.
One of the country station here, B100, used to run Delilah on the overnights.
She did
hot, the overnight
man.
shows.
She's freaking hot.
Yeah.
And I never knew what she looked like till I'm trying to do a Hopeless Romantic show on Friday nights, and I was searching for the name, and I couldn't remember her name, and I found it, and I'm like, oh, so that's what she looks like. I never knew what she looked like. I just knew the voice, know.
Right. Sully says that he loves and hates her.
I'd be curious to know why he hates her.
Well, but, I could add Sully to the call here. Well, I think I could.
I don't care.
He could put it in the chat room also. He said that she's awesome at what she does, but I can't stand the drama. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
yeah, drama on radio, that's meant for, the radio soap operas and crap like that.
I can kind of see that, because it is a call-in show, if I remember correctly. I haven't listened to her in over 15 years maybe, but it was a call-in show. And what I remember about it was, helpless hearts, hurting hearts, relationship stuff. And it was, I'm not going to lie, I kind of like that kind of show. I'm old school. You and I are you're way younger than me, but the radio the way it used to be. Remember, as a kid, you would hope that you would actually be the 15th caller.
Oh, yeah.
And you would hope that you could get a request into the DJ because it meant something to you.
Yep.
And you'd stay up all night just to hear your voice on the radio. Well, nobody does that shit anymore.
No, what they do is I actually sat in at the radio station here one day. And I was trying to get a job as a DJ there again, or get a DJ job again. And I was on the afternoon show, and they had their little drawing and stuff, and they would record people as they called in.
Right.
But there was nothing, it was all canned in, and then they would sit there and they would edit it during a song to just break it down into this little bit of time.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, cool, I won some stuff, but you never hear 3/4 of the things they say, because they break it down where you got to do it in a 30-second slot.
Right. Well, I envy you. Number one, you worked in a real station. Oh, yeah. I got an opportunity in North Carolina, and I'm hoping it pans out. The guy says I can't pay you. I said I don't want to get paid. I honestly don't want to get paid. I would be tickled pink working in a real DJ booth studio until they made money and be part of that growth, because it's been a dying dream, a dream of mine, just to be in an actual studio. To actually be a DJ personality, a local DJ personality. Right. But you've lived that, you've also served your country, and you've done a lot of things, bro. I don't even know how you're still standing, to be honest.
I'm a jack of all trades and a master at none.
Bullshit. You're a master. You are beyond hold on.
I know what he's going to do.
He is beyond a master. Now, I don't know if that came out backwards or not, but you are beyond
No, you didn't call me a masturbator, so you're all right.
No, man. I don't even know how my back hurts just knowing what you have to do to route all that stuff. I don't care how high the table is. I don't know how you do it because I know you suffer pain like me.
Oh yeah.
It's hard for me to just sit for 3 hours. Let's do anything else.
And that's the thing, and and that's something else that I wanted to touch on with you for the listener, for the folks that are tuning in and everything. Is, I mean, they know about all the drama and everything with my back. They know, about the surgery, and we actually, they're still looking for the video bit again, but we actually did one of the shows that the Sully show was a colonoscopy show.
Get out of here.
No, I am dead serious, and you can ask Sully in the chat room. We were doing our show, and the next morning, I had to go in and have a colonoscopy done. So I was drinking all that nasty crap.
Oh, yeah.
And this was when we were doing a 3-hour show. So they pretty much got the whole thing of first drink, last drink, and everything in it. So, being a stunt boy is no big deal to me. But, I mean, you have some serious back problems and everything else. And, he is in just as bad a shape as I am. And, this guy sits there and you can ask Sully and them, I'm hurting bad after a 2-hour show on Tuesday nights, and, I know you are after a 3-hour show, but, and I can do about 3 hours a day out in the shop. We're doing the woodworking stuff. And you ask you don't know how I can do it. It's just like how you can do a 4-hour show, which I've seen you do. I mean, granted, the last hour you're laying on your bed with the mic beside you.
But I have wireless headphones on. I just go back and lay down while the song's playing and get back to the desk.
It's all about the passion. It's all about the passion and the love for what we do. And the love that you amaze me a lot, dude, because the love that you have for indie artists. I've seen more DJs than I can count that have done the indie artist scene, and they're not getting the recognition and those kind of things that most DJs look for. So they give up on it and they go back to the mainstream. Yeah. You've been doing indie artists for what, close to 10, 12 years now?
No, I've only been broadcasting 10. I would say from 2000, honestly, heavily from 2012 on up. 2012, so about 2012 was the year for me. Okay. FMR, dude, I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah, he used to have his own radio station. It was FMR, and I mean, it was an awesome station.
It was always evolving, but man, within the first year, we needed to get a bigger server. Mm-hmm. I ran, again, didn't have to work under somebody, so I ran the station. I felt the way it should be ran. Right. The auto DJ was all indie artists. It had a little thing on there. If you listened to a track and you liked it, you click a yellow star, you rate them 1 to 4. Every week we'd have a rating show. I mean, it was so indie oriented. And then I let Family Life. It was my own fault. I didn't have any gut balls back then, to just say screw everybody.
Well, you had them. They were just in a jar of formaldehyde sitting on the headboard.
Exactly. Oh, you're right.
I hear you, brother. I'm down there.
You're right. But
Sully's going through that right now.
It really sucks, man. But you know what? Endorphins are the best drug. I'm on morphine sulfate. I'm on hydrocodone, and that allows me to still mow the yard and do the pool and all that other stuff. But I'll tell you what, there are days when I am so engulfed in reviewing artists, listening to music, queuing up a playlist, rearranging the songs to give the best feel and flow I can. Before I know it, it's nighttime, and I haven't even taken my second dose yet. It's like, wow.
And you haven't eaten in 12 hours.
No.
You had a bran muffin for breakfast.
If that.
Or for me, it was like a Nutri-Grain bar or something. And the next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock.
That's what night. I just drink coffee all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as
I drink coffee like you smoke cigarettes. Literally, man. I mean, if I had a long song on right now, I'd go get another one. But this is not the situation here. But yeah, you can see me constantly doing this, getting up and down. It's just to reposition my spine. That's all. But
yeah, I mean, that's the thing with me out in the shop. I can move around, I can adjust, and that's the nice thing. I made up an easel that I can instead of being flat on the tabletop, I can flip it standing up so that I'm not bending over as much. I use that a lot when I get into the detail work and those kind of things. Now, what is the station that you're working for now, and where can people go to listen?
Well, it's at MidasTouchRadio.co.uk. But way back here, FMR is calling me again. I know why. It's because I'm getting a lot of posts from 2012 as memories on Facebook, and reality is slapping me in the face. So I have two choices. Either I become that person again on Midas Touch, which I'm trying, but see, I don't run things there.
Right.
I do what I'm told, and gladly. Chris Duvall is a wonderful guy. He's in the UK, in Kent, England, and we do a show. I'll tell you, if you wanna have an enjoyable time, the best times to go there is Wednesdays, because we have a triple play. Like this Wednesday, I kick it off, and I probably have the worst time slot ever. It's 1 to 3 Eastern. Then Chris comes on, and he does his show from 3 to 5 Eastern. He has no energy. He's a whole different way, but he plays good music.
Right.
And then we got Alex from New Jersey, Alex's Turntable. The guy puts on a produced, recorded show that is top shelf. Like this week, it's 1976. We have a chat. We have interaction. We love our family. We love to talk to people. Then Sundays, and this is the hard part because it's a 5-hour time difference. We start at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's 8 o'clock in UK, and it's blue jeans, bell bottoms, and hairspray, which is 60s, 70s, and 80s. But after 2 hours, we somehow honed into Midas Touch Radio After Dark, and that's when the clothes come off. Not in a way,
but
not literally. But yeah, that's when we just anything goes. Pick a track, we got it, we'll play it, and and it's done via Skype, like you and I. Right. Only it's processed through a compressor and everything, and he literally sounds like he's right next to me. I run the controls. But it's hard because do you remember the Deb and Tez show that I did with my?
Oh yeah.
That show was top. That was the reason we had to get a new server.
Right.
And then she decided she didn't want to do it with me anymore. So now I'm in process of trying to get a new co-host. She's in the UK.
Now it's the Tez and the Empty Chair show.
Pretty much. It's okay to co-host.
I mean, hey, I could come in and co-DJ with you sometime if you want. I got to get permission from the wife, but I mean.
It's all just fun, like I've always wanted another female host. So this indie artist, Anna Gray, she wanted to
It took him a second, but he got there.
Would you tell me you love me too? No.
Only if you pay me, or only if you want me to.
But no, I've been always wanting another female co-host, just somebody to bounce off of. And Chris is fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's taken like 3 weeks just to loosen him up. Right. And but now I can kind of push a button and I get the reaction that I want. So it's happening. But I'll tell you, it's hard starting off. But I'm going to tell, since Sully's listening, I don't do this often. I don't sit and watch somebody on Twitch or any live video, especially a talk show without music. But I honestly, the last 2 times I tuned in, man, you guys somehow know how to keep an audience. I will give you that. And it kept me. So that's saying a lot because I'm not that kind of guy.
He's a tune in for 20 minutes and then he's gone kind of guy,
If that,
unless there's boobies flashing around or something like that. I mean, that might get him to 30 minutes, but
your content, whatever Sully did, the format he uses, the way he reads things.
The thing of it is the thing that we zone in on the Sully show, and I try to do. I'm trying to do more of on the Shout Out with JT show on Thursday nights, and like you do, is it's about having fun, seeing people having fun and laughing and talking about crazy stories and stuff like that. That's what'll keep people to keep their interest, especially when you change up a lot,
Right.
And I mean, we've had our serious political talks and. We've had basically Triple X version comments and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is to have fun. And you're right, the interaction with people in the chat room.
That fuels you.
That's everything. It does.
It
fuels you and it fuels your show.
So kudos to all of you.
Yeah, I've seen you literally reformat half of a show because the entire feel in the chat room changed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've
Or
literally sat there, and I mean, I did actually see you, but all of a sudden, things weren't the same as they were before, but it was feeding off of the chat room,
and
and
the
that's the
reason
big thing.
is it's because I tell everybody I broadcast for you. I'm like your I'm your DJ whore. Okay, I do whatever you want me to do, and I do it with pleasure because how 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 much better experience can a listener have than to have what they want, what they ask for? Just like you know, I'm trying to go back and forth here. I don't know how many people you got in chat, but I mean, it's just nice to see a chat scroll again. You know, it's nice. It's because ours does not scroll, man. I mean, there's people listening, but to get people in chat, I don't know what they're afraid of, but I'm telling it is everything to the person behind the mic.
Yeah, and especially like on Tuesday nights, you know. I mean, we're running double digits, triple digits, and stuff like that, but only 10 people are talking. Well, why are only 10 people talking? You know, it's hard to get people who don't want to interact like that to talk in a chat room.
Yeah, and I don't understand.
A lot of people are afraid to talk in a chat room because of all the, you know.
You could be anybody you want in a chat room.
Right? Hey, I'm the king of Siam.
That's right,
wait,
man.
No, make that the queen of Siam.
You know what? I don't know how you feel about this, but my biggest, and a lot of indie artists are like this too, my biggest fallback as far as success or numbers is I'm too honest. There's really nothing wrong with inflating your listenership for promotional purposes only. Right. You know, I mean, nobody, if you put on there, oh, I had 10 people, who the hell wants to tune into a station that's got 10 people, you know? But you say, oh, yeah, I had listeners from this country, this city, that city. You're not lying.
Right.
You just, you know, I mean, but there's a fine line, you know, and I'm a very humble person as you are, and most independent artists are. God, I can make you a list. Tune in. If any of you have, I mean, I'm not plugging myself. I'm plugging the artists. This is not about me.
Hey, plug yourself, man. That's what.
No.
That's part of the reason that I brought you on here. I want people to know about you and the work that you do. So go ahead and plug yourself a little bit.
Again, I'm humble, but Wednesdays, if you got nothing, well, several things you can do. Forget about the station. Wednesdays from 1 to 3, go to Midas Touch Radio. Just follow me on Facebook. Search for the Tez Mess or just Larry Tezekian. You'll find me on JT's page. Mm-hmm. But I have a Mixcloud account. Go on there. It's Mixcloud. I'll post a link in chat. It's all my broadcasts are up there. The reason
send it to me through Messenger and I'll post it in chat.
It won't let you. Okay. It's about the artists, like Papa Satch. Oh my God, man! There's a guy in Key Largo, Mac Meadows. I could list them and list them and list them. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you're gonna love these guys, man, because I don't play crap. And once you get a taste of these artists, you're gonna want to hear more of them, and maybe even buy a track or two. You know, I've got. You know what sucks, bro? I've got digital download cards from Cabela and Schmidt. I've got CDs from Phil Circle from Chicago. I've got other CDs. The reason I showed those two is because the show I did today, I highlighted them. The showcase was about Radio Drive, but nobody could even send me an email to get a download card. I had listeners, but I don't understand the mindset. I jump at it. Just because I love music, but I don't understand. I don't understand the mindset.
It's hard to get people to do things, and I don't know why. I mean, it didn't used to be. It didn't used to be, but for some reason, it's turned into the fact that I have to get out of my chair.
As they're on their phone.
Yeah, I have to type on my keyboard.
No, they don't, man. Everything's on your phone anymore.
I gotta get off the toilet, and I don't want to. I mean, come on. But no, I hear you, and
did that come out right?
I feel bad because, I mean, I love supporting you, and I love the work that you do. And I'm not able to really tune in and listen to your shows. You know, and I know that you support me and you play my songs and stuff like that, but
it doesn't bother me anymore. I used to let it bother me, but when I go on Mixcloud and I see that, oh wow, in the first hour I had 10 people already check out the show, since it is seriously about the artists, it doesn't bother me if you tune in live or not. I've learned to pretend I'm broadcasting to nobody, because some stations you have to. Like when I'm on WPEX, which is Tater Patch Radio in South Virginia, I'm on the airwaves. You don't know how many people are tuned in, so you don't get that interaction. And I mean, when you worked in a radio studio, you didn't know how many people were listening. So you have to become better. You can't let how many people are listening or not listening bother you, because it will affect your energy. You know, you have to pretend like you got millions and just have that energy as if, because eventually it'll get there. It will. I'm sure when you first started your show, you didn't have near the listeners you have now.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, and that was one of the first things I was taught by the gentleman that took me under his wing. He was the afternoon guy, but he was also the station manager. And, you know, I was having a problem getting soundtracking down. And you talked about that. Soundtracking is one of the hardest things to do, because you have to look at the song that plays that you're coming in off the end of, and you have to try to match your energy and your feel and everything by listening to the last 15 seconds of that song. Yeah. And then you have to do a cold read for a commercial. And, you know, and then you have to intro either the next song or the next set or whatever. And you have to match how you feel to that. So, you know, I honestly call people who are DJs, especially those who do a lot of soundtracking, you're an actor.
Yes, because there's no real emotion in it.
Right. You have to figure out what the feel and the atmosphere is and all that stuff. And it's hard to do, especially when you first get into it. But I had this guy, the boss looked at me one day, and he was, you know, when I first started, he would listen to my soundtracking before he would put them on. And we were sitting in the office one day, and he's like, you know, he says, you're getting there. But let me give you a little piece of advice. And he looked at me and says, don't think about how many people might be listening. Don't think about what's out there. When you do this, imagine that your best friend or your wife or whoever is sitting on the other side of the desk from you, and talk about the song, talk about the commercial like you're talking to them.
Right.
Because you want to make that personal touch. And when you can do that, you actually sound and you can make a one-on-one connection with a million different people.
The problem I have, and there was a guy named Gary Wines. He's syndicated, like national, and he's the one who taught me how this automation works and how you get on 100 stations across the country. It's all done through the cloud. He sends me a zip file. I unzip it into this program, which I can't remember what the name of it is, and it loads all the tracks in. No, he gave me the program. I just can't remember what it is right now. VoiceCast or something like that.
Well, you mess with so many of them.
You unzip it. It loads all the tracks in that's for the show. Now, you play the last 15 seconds you're allowed to hear. Then you push record. It plays the last 15 seconds. So it'll fade and you can talk over the last tail.
Right.
And then you do your bit and it goes in the next one. He was so emphatic about, don't be a song announcer. I said, I'm not a song announcer, but I have no emotion. I didn't just listen to the whole track to break in. Right. And you don't have any idea. Sometimes during a broadcast, I will literally move songs around because it doesn't fit where my head's at right now.
I've never done that.
and you got to have your head in it because it's got to have a flow. The flow, the energy. Trust me, you guys, and I'm just saying, you know, I would love your feedback, seriously. I'm a jingle freak. I'm a flow freak. Listen to my broadcasts and seriously give me some of your feedback. I would be honored. I don't care if it's good or bad. I mean, I'm a very humble person, but it's all about, you got to be able to feel the energy. Cause I grew up with a DJ like that. And I know you don't know Cousin Brucey, Dan Ingram. They're from the Northeast. But I grew up with them on the Jersey Shore listening on my little AM radio. And I'm going to tell you what, Dan Ingram was the funniest freaking DJ. He would mock commercials and everything. He got away with a lot of stuff because he was that good.
Right.
You know, we're talking in the 70s, 150 grand a year to be a DJ, 150,000 a year. I mean,
so he was like the Howard Stern of that time period.
Yeah, he was like Wolfman Jack, Wolfman Jack on steroids. He was very and he died last year. That was my mentor. So I pattern after what I know works, and I try to be funny, and I try to, you know, just play, have fun. Right. Anybody, like I said, anybody can just announce a song and an artist, but it takes. Listen to radio today. We have a station here called the Arrow. It's all automated. It has one guy throughout the whole day doing voice clips. So little inserts here and there, and then of course your commercials to keep the station on air. But there's no personality. Yeah, it's song after song with a 1 or 2 liner, and that's what Gary wanted me to do. I couldn't do it. I know I need to. That's the sad part.
Yeah,
I mean
it's something. I mean, if you're, you know, you were talking about an opportunity that's out there for you. It's something you need to work on, brother. I mean, you know, because, and I know it's hard. Believe me, I've been in your shoes, but it can definitely take you a lot of places. You've got the voice, you've got the personality, big time to be in radio and to do AM, FM radios and to do syndicated shows and that kind of thing. So, you know,
yeah, as well as you. I don't know. I don't know why you left, but.
Well, you know, and like I said when we talked about it a little bit before, it was the back. The back got me out of the music thing. It got me out of doing the shows and stuff like that for a long time. But I'm trying to work my way back into them, you know. And now I've got the woodworking thing that I'm doing. It's also out there at the same time too. I just got to work up my endurance, because right now I can only handle 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah, well, in a studio, I think you're required to do 4 hours, right? That's a DJ slot, 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, folks, you know, I have had a blast having you on here with me tonight.
I did too. Thank you.
Really did. It was a lot of fun, and it was nice to show and for people to kind of get an idea of what it's like to be, like you say, behind the mic. Right. It's different what you do as a radio DJ than what we do here with the Sully Show and with the Shout Out with JT Show. But it's kind of the same at the same time. But I wanted you guys to get an idea of kind of what it's like to be behind the mic at a radio station, especially one who is playing a lot of indie artists. I can never thank you enough for the support that you give us as independent artists. I mean, you've been playing my stuff for 7 years now.
Yeah, and you could send me a song tomorrow and I play it again.
I can send you one, but it might be somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, you got an audience out there. If you know any struggling indie artists, just send them my way. I'd be happy to give a listen to and start interacting with them and getting them some airplay. It is a mission, and it's really all about the artists. I'm just the guy that delivers it, and I couldn't do what you do, JT. So, you know, we all have our fortes. I don't know.
So if you want, you know, I would like to ask, you know, the folks that are out there listening, when you have time, do me a favor. Go to mixcloud.com/Larry Tezekian. All right, that's TEZEKJIAN. And check out his broadcasts. Send him some feedback. Be nice about it. You know, don't tell him he's an ass. Well, I mean,
I don't care.
Don't tell him that.
I don't care. I really don't.
He's a great guy. Tune into, you know, if you follow him on Facebook, is there a page that they can follow on Facebook where they can know about broadcasts that you have coming up?
It's facebook.com/thetezmess, THETEZMESS.
Okay, The Tez Mess.
Right.
So you can follow that page on Facebook. Tell them hi, that you heard about it through the Shout Out with JT show. And then check out some of his shows. Nikai said, "I'm never nice." Liar!
I don't really care. Well. I mean, I will interact with everybody. I'm not that kind of person. But hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on. This is fun. Really fun.
It's been a blast. Seriously fun. For me, it was a lot of fun because I was finally able to sit down with Sully and get things set up to where I can actually bring somebody on. I could have had you on here a month ago.
Oh, Sully, please teach me, bro. Teach me, because I'm an XSplit guy and I'm not liking it. It's too damn PC
Sully,
heavy.
You may have a new OBS student here pretty soon. But he finally got me set up to where I could get somebody on here on video as well, and it meant a lot to me that you were the first one to come on with me and do this.
Hey, so, I'm honored. Thank you.
Check him out when you can. Mixcloud.com/Larry Tezekian or Facebook.com/TheTezMess.
That's
it. Give him some feedback. Let him know what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. And, just give him a general hard time for me.
Yeah. Let me know the artists you like. That's really more important.
There you go. If you have any indie artists out there that you know that you really like, send them a message. Let them know about it. So if you folks want to hang around with me for a few minutes, Tez, I want to thank you for coming on with me tonight, my friend. It has been a blast. Maybe, a couple months down the road, we'll get you back in here. If I can ever get this EP done or get a new single out, maybe we'll bring you on to talk about it.
All right. Sounds great. All
right. Thanks. You have yourself a great night. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. You too.
Drop
Thanks,
off the call. Go take your pills and go lay down, my friend.
All right, man. God bless you all. Thanks a lot.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, folks. That was my good friend Tez, a.k.a. DJ Tez. Yeah. My good friend Larry. Like I said, if you get a chance, go and check him out. They're on Facebook, the Tez Mess, so you can keep updated on shows that he's got going on. And stand by. I want to thank everybody who came in tonight. What in the heck is going on? For some reason, my Twitch page decided to suddenly reload on me. Yeah, a lot of fun there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I did. Do us a favor, if you have enjoyed what you've heard and what you've seen and things like that, do us a follow, subscribe to us, follow the channel and everything, and help us to grow. That's the thing. Let your friends know about us. Tuesday nights, the Sully Show, starting at 8 p.m. with Sully, Adam, and myself. Wednesday nights is KGTV, Mr. Kevin himself, playing video games. And then Thursday nights right here with me for Shout Out with JT. We are going to do a raid right here in just a couple of minutes. We are going to raid Ricky Baby. Going in there, say Punchers Unite, throw up your APP logos if you got them. And then you can go on your way. I do want to thank everybody for hanging out for me tonight. Big Tank, Nikaya, Sully, everybody else who is in the chat room. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I want to wish you all the best. And we will see you next time right here on the one and only Shout Out with JT show on Accidental Punch TV. Peace, my friends. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.